First, forget inspiration. Habit is more dependable. Habit will sustain you whether or not you're inspired. Octavia Butler. My friends, habit. Each and every day, 10 to 15 minutes, following these stock charts, making the practice trades when you see them. So important. Stick with us each and every day. We are here bringing it to you. And markets continue to move in the directions of our trades. The way I have things marked, you can't see this section, but those of you who have TradingView, you know over to the right-hand side of the screen, just off the screen is where I have the listing of the S&P 500, NASDAQ 100, 20-year bonds, gold, and Bitcoin. And I have them tagged with those little flags. The stocks are green, everything else is red, and everything is moving in that direction. Well, it was until just a second ago when Bitcoin popped into the positive, but it may roll back over. It's still, 9 minutes left in today's market. But let's jump first into the S&P 500 up for the day, 0.55%. You can see stair steps the last 3 weeks moving up. You can see how nice when we look at both the 2-day and the half-day, things just continuing to surge up. That trade we got in, whether you jumped in particularly early on that week, the 20th of March or the following week, either one, it has just been on a tear, has been a wonderful, long, beautiful uptrend and practice trade. So things still going in the right direction. What about the NASDAQ 100? Up a little bit more, 0.65%. And again, higher high this week. Price above the 2-day and the half-day with this weekly trend line. Remember, we have our chart set up where when we draw the trend line on the weekly, it reflects on these other charts. If we were doing the 2-day and the half-day, it would reflect vice versa. Originally, I did end up putting the 2-day and the half-day trends on the chart, and it just didn't help. I just noticed, what did it do for me? The only trend I really care about is how everything compares to the weekly. And people say, Tom, why do you trade such a big chart like the weekly instead of doing little chart trades? Because I say, little charts, little money. Big charts, big money. And all things being equal, the market tends to move in the direction of the largest chart. So that's what we're looking for. That's what we're using these other charts to correlate, coordinate, and then verify that things are continuing to move in the right direction. We see weakness early on first in what? The half-day chart, or potential weakness. Then we see how that translates, like here on the 7th of June, you can see where things popped down in the afternoon. We look to where we are on the 2-day chart. That's the 2-day candle for the 6th and 7th of June. And you can see, yes, things did weaken. But again, when we look at where things were moving as far as the trend line goes, it was still moving in the right direction and still supported by the weekly chart. So again, we pay attention to these charts all the time in all 3 time frames. So that's where we are on stocks. Let's go to bonds. See bonds moving in the right direction. You look at the weekly, it's really flat. Nice thing is you had a day and a half of really flat here, but then rolling over in the afternoon down over 1% right now. We want to see that continuing to happen. Still can see on this weekly chart lots of indecision there, hoping that this half-day chart will continue to move in the down direction. We can see where we had both in the afternoon yesterday and in the morning today, we had lots of indecision, lots of volume, and then things moving over in the afternoon. I'm hoping that things are going to keep going down. That's where we are on the trade now. If things swing around and bound up, that may very well pull us out. We do have questions right now because of the indecision with these dojis. Dojis, of course, are the most indecisive of our candlesticks. Let's look at gold. Gold down 0.76%. Again, moving in the right direction. We can see the low that we had the week beginning the 22nd of May was 180.09. Now we look as we go into let's say we go into the following week, it was 180.96, 180.15, and this week 180.17. So we still haven't hit that low of going on 3 weeks ago, over 3 weeks now. So we'll, again, pay attention. We do see on the half-day chart how it's pulling away from the weekly trend line. Same on the 2-day. Red down candle on the 2-day and multiple 2 days of red down candles on the half-day. So we want to see that continue to move down and accelerate to keep us in the short position on gold, or at least to keep us out of gold, waiting for it to turn back around to get in and go long if you're not using puts. Now, we talk about the short funds that we have, the inverse funds as we call them. SH on the S&P 500, PSQ on the NASDAQ 100, TBF on 20-year bonds. Gold has a short, single short, and there are other shorts for these others also, but the single short on gold, I think it's DGZ. Problem with it is it's not liquid. In other words, the bid and the ask are far apart. Means the minute you get into a down trade, and remember, inverse funds go up when the underlying asset, equity, whatever it is, goes down. The minute you get in, you've got a large spread between what you pay and then what you can sell it for, between the bid and the ask. Remember, it's always easiest to figure out what you're going to pay. When you go in, you're going to pay the higher quote. When you sell, you're going to sell for the lower quote. Well, when it's $1 or $2 apart, it's a big problem. And if it's $5 or $10 apart, it's even less liquid. I'm not interested in getting something that's illiquid. If anything goes against me, well, the minute I jump in, I've already jumped into a big loss. I don't want to do that. So what do we do to short gold? We teach you how to practice trade puts. And if you become a Patreon at any of the 3 Patreon levels, first thing you get the minute you sign up, pay your monthly fee, you immediately get an email with the 3-part series, Options Made Simple, the Charting Wealth Way. Just one of the many things our Patreon members get. In fact, when I finish today, I'm going to be recording Charting Cryptos, Commodities, and Currencies. I may record the 3-wave trades today. Those are the curated charts that I have for you on liquid options and stocks that we are following. And I put that out usually on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, depending on how busy I am. And then, of course, Thursday, we put out the 20 weekly vertical crossover. So that's where we are in gold, moving in the right direction. Oh, as I've been speaking, we've now gone to just 0.03% is where Bitcoin is. We have a red down candle for the week. We can see indecision in the morning. Looks like it's trying to go down in the afternoon on that half day, well below the weekly trend line on both the half day and the 2-day. Things moving in the right direction. We haven't hit the low of last week. That low of last week was 25.13. So far this week, 25.45. So again, what I keep asking and hoping for is to see Bitcoin continue to move down, contract further, and then move up in a nice, clean manner. I didn't like seeing this little fake out right here this week. We didn't buy into it. But again, we're waiting, hoping Bitcoin's going to reset. We want Bitcoin to start looking more like the S&P 500, where you have clean green to red to green to red to green to red, giving you clear signals when to jump in, giving you opportunities to catch a trade, make some bank in your practice trade, and then let things move up. Remember, we're not a stock calling service, not a Bitcoin or gold or bond calling service. We're an education firm. We want you to practice trade with us and learn how to do this. Is it simple? The concept is simple, but learning to control your emotions, learning the rules, learning how to apply them, how to be patient, how to read the charts. Every chart is different. Tell everybody, let the stocks and ETFs be like your children. Learn their personalities and how to properly interact with them. How do you learn that? You learn it by doing it. That is where we are, folks, at the end of the day on Tuesday. We so appreciate you being with us. God bless. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.